Namaste to everybody. Joy Ma Kamakhya. I hope everybody had a very wonderful Navratra period and belated wishes for Ram Navami. I was spending these days in Kamakhya Kshetra, busy in my own sadhana, and so I could not make any videos during this time. Uh, it was wonderful. It was, as always, Kamakhya is one of the most powerful pithas, perhaps the most powerful Shaktipitha, in my opinion. And it was a wonderful time in the sadhana that I was doing. I also got to meet quite a few people who had come there for the first time. Many of them said that they had come after watching the videos, and I realized that a lot of people do not have a basic understanding of what to do or what not to do in Kamakhya. So, this video I'll be speaking on that. And before going to that topic, I will address one specific question that was sent in emails and I saw in comments as well. Uh, Somebody asked, why do I keep repeating about initiation? There is a good reason why I do that. First of all, there is already a huge amount of information with respect to various sadhanas and various things, mantras, this, that, already out in the open. So there are websites, books, videos, everybody is speaking about it. In all these, what is missing is that there are certain traditional checks and balances mentioned in the Shastras which are completely bypassed. So there are innumerable videos of people giving out complicated mantras of Mahavidyas, this, that, and they'll just tell you ki bas you just have to chant this and XYZ is going to happen, this, that. There is a risk involved in this, and this risk is not mentioned. See, if you pick a mantra from just a video of somebody and you keep chanting and there is a reaction that happens, how are you going to get help from that? Who is going to help you? The person who has made the video, whoever it might be, has put out some information. You will not have access to that. Or if you have taken initiation from an organization which has innumerable disciples or innumerable people connected to it who are doing whatever processes or sadhanas are given, even there you face the same problem, that if there is a reaction, in that case, how do you address that reaction? What is the next step to be done? And these are things you have to remember before you approach somebody, before you go to a place for knowledge, specifically with respect to spirituality. What is your access level to the organization or the guru? Means tomorrow if you have some problems, will there be somebody to help you and handhold you and pull you out of the problem related to the sadhana that you are doing? If that is not the case, and very often I find this even in my mailbox, I get tremendous amount of emails from people who have taken initiation from various organizations. They're doing their own sadhanas, and then in the middle something or the other happens and they don't know what to do because the organization they don't have access to the guru. This is not the fault of the guru. This is not the fault of anybody else except that individual himself or herself. Because if you have to approach for spiritual initiation, spiritual knowledge from somebody, you have to first see whether that individual is accessible or not. Which means tomorrow, if you take a process from somewhere and there is some reaction that happens, are you going to get help from that organization? Is there somebody there who is going to handhold you and guide you in a situation where things have turned difficult? This assessment has to be done by everybody on their own, even before going into any kind of spiritual organization for help or individual for help. In this process, therefore, initiation is a very crucial factor, specifically when doing mantra sadhana of Mahavidyas. It is absolutely important. And this is repeated across text after text. And It is not a matter of whether somebody likes it, dislikes it. I believe in it. It's not a matter of, dharma is not a matter of your personal belief. It is not a matter of any individual's personal opinion. I mean, everything in life, whether you study physics, chemistry, English, or anything, there are rules that have to be followed, there are protocols that have to be followed, there is a process, there's a method to it. Why do you think in spirituality it is free for all, then there can be no methods and you do whatever you feel like? There is always going to be some reaction unless you follow these processes which are mentioned in texts and which have been in place for the last 2-3,000 years. Okay, so that is why whenever I speak of these topics, whenever I feel that there is a need to stress the necessity of initiation or Diksha from a guru, I will keep doing that, because I feel that there's a lot of people who give out information without these caveats. In today's age, there is a flood of information everywhere, but without mentioning these caveats, these things can have a adverse effect on some people. It can be risky in some cases. So it's look at it this way, to give an analogy. It's like initiation is like your driving license. If you don't have it, and if you take your vehicle out on the road, it's good if you don't get caught, but suppose on a bad day you get caught by the police, by the traffic police, then you'll have to end up going through a lot of troubles because of that. Initiation is something similar to that. You have your driving license, you have a stamp, a process by which puja is specifically done. If it is a Shaktipitha initiation, if it is general upadesham, which is, then it's different matter. Puja is done by which if there are obstacles in the path of the disciple, of the sadhak, it is asked of the deities of that kula to help remove those obstacles so that he or she may progress in the sadhana of the Ishta Devata, or the Ishta Mantra that is given. Anyway, now obviously after mentioning this, the first question that comes up is, how does one find a guru? But that we will address in some other video. I don't want to sidetrack into that at this moment. So coming back to the first point, Kamakhya is a absolutely mind-blowing, indescribable Shaktipitha. It is indescribable. In my humble opinion, and people that I've met till now, even the best of sadhaks, sabse jo the greatest upasaka, also has not more than 30 to 40% knowledge of the pitha. The deity is so powerful, deity is so fantastic. Now, many people, when they go to Kamakhya, specifically after seeing videos, they have this idea कि यहाँ जाने से कुछ miracle होने वाला है, some problem in life is going to get solved. Indeed, miracles can happen, miracles do happen, but it is not a guarantee. You have to make yourself eligible for a miracle. Even inside a miracle, there is a process. It is not entirely random. If somebody is experiencing some sort of a miraculous event, it is most likely that now, or maybe earlier, or maybe even in past life, he or she might have done some karmas, some sadhana, some processes, because of which he or she is eligible to experience the miracle in the first place. So everything in sadhana, everything in life works on the principle of Adhikara. Nature respects the principle of Adhikara. Adhikara comes through practice. It will not come by just saying that, oh, I want a experience. There is no demand here. Nature does not believe in democracy. Nature does not believe in equality. Everybody is not equal. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. There is no concept of all are same. That is a human idea. That is not an idea that nature follows. But nature respects the idea of Adhikara. Adhikara is basically when you gather Shakti through practice, through experience, through sadhana basically. And that may be in this lifetime or even in past lifetimes. That nature keeps track of, and accordingly there is a payoff. There is some reaction, a positive perhaps, that comes because of it. So that is the concept of Adhikara. Only when somebody has the right, when the Adhikara is earned by somebody, then he or she will experience miracles, will experience guidance, will experience hundreds of things, or that will come on its own. अपने आप से आएगा वो साधक के पास. You will not have to go in search of it anywhere. So that is why make yourself capable of receiving a miracle. That is the first thing. So if you are going there to Kamakhya for the first time, the place will overwhelm you, because there is the main mandir of Ma Kamakhya, which is also called the Yoni Pitha. And these days the crowds are tremendous. So if you stand in the general line, that may take you hours, 6-7 hours or more. And then there is the VIP pass, which also takes you about 2-3 hours at least. Then there are the 10 Mahavidya mandirs. Then there are pujas, various types of Mahavidya pujas, Graha pujas that are happening, various Tantric pujas you will see. And Tantric means entirely the official Paddhati of puja of Ma Kamakhya is followed via Vamachar Tantra. And there is no two ways about it. This is the method that has been followed for centuries. Century means thousands of years. This is the Paddhati that has been going on. And this goes on only because Ma Kamakhya actually wills it to happen this way. If she did not will it, nobody could have carried on this Vamachar Paddhati for 2,000-3,000 years continuously without break. It is her will that runs in that place. Always remember this. This is applicable to all Kshetras. It is the Devata of the Kshetra who decides what is the right method, what is the right way, what is the right mantra, ityadi. Pura Paddhati happens by the inspiration and will of the Devata. Which means, so if you go there and if you see Vamachar Tantra being practiced by officially in the puja of various Mahavidyas that are being done, etc., and somehow that disturbs you, be very careful not to get into a criticism mode. Because if you are in the Kshetra and if you are criticizing the primary method of Upasana there is very likely that you will face some kind of a backlash in your own life after you get out of the Kshetra. Because Kamakhya is not only Ma Kamakhya and the 10 Mahavidyas, there are and also the 5 Shivas and Bhairavas, Kshetrapala, Yoginis, innumerable beings are there in Kamakhya. Jo dikhte hi nahi hai. They are not visible to the naked eye of ordinary people, but those who have occult vision, they understand and they see. So all these beings are there. They approve of this method. Ma Kamakhya approves of this method. So if you are going to that place and if you are critical of all this, it is possible that you may face some reaction from any of these beings. And I have seen that in few cases, specifically with respect to the Bali Vidhan that happens in Kamakhya. So whatever be your opinion of it, do not stand there and start into one lecturing mode of this is, and or moralizing and all these things. Keep your opinions to yourself. Focus on what you have to do. Leave aside what others are doing. That is not your job to make the judgment. Because if you do, there is very likely chance that after you step out of the Kshetra, some of the other issues will start in your life. If you have been critical of these things sitting in the Kshetra, because that is a bit like you go to somebody's. A Kshetra is what? It is like the house of the Devata, जहाँ पे देवता रहते हैं. Deity is not alone. Deity, along with Ma Kamakhya, there are 10 Mahavidyas and all these beings are there, etc. So you go to their place and only to be critical of what is happening, ये क्यों हो रहा है, वो क्यों हो रहा है, ऐसा ये ठीक नहीं, वो ठीक नहीं, etc. You go into that mode, you are inviting trouble into your life. Even if you don't like anything, keep quiet, do your stuff, or if you're too disturbed with all this, then don't go there in the first place. Anyway, that aside, now suppose you have gone to Kamakhya, the first thing to do is obviously have darshan, and it is important to enter into the Garbhagriha of Ma Kamakhya, even the little fractional time that you get there because of the crowds. Do sparsha of the water that comes out and do namaskara to Ma Kamakhya, then come out. And if you are not aware of anything else, then keep doing pradakshina of the temple. And pradakshina is not once, twice, no. Do it as many times as possible. 30 times, 50 times, even 108 times if possible. And there are people who do that very often. Or sit down at some place where you are less likely to be disturbed, anywhere in that temple, anywhere in the Kamakhya Kshetra, and choose or pick a simple upasana of the deity. If you don't know anything, you might even do the 32 names of Ma Durga, or you can read the Argala Stotra, any simple stotra, which something that is not very complicated. Sit and keep doing it for a few hours. Yes, do some basic sadhana. That is the most important thing. Don't just roam around aimlessly in the Kshetra, because it will overwhelm you otherwise for the first time when you go, because there are so many things happening. It's like a overload in your mind. Along with it, there is a subconscious power in that Kshetra that is continuously working. So choose a good place, a decent place, sit down and spend at least few hours doing japa or doing a part of a stotra. Whether it's the if you want to worship Ma Kali, you can read the Adya Stotra, not once but remember few hours. Yeah, keep doing it 108 times, more than that, as much as you want, keep doing it. And after that, if possible, do a Kumari Pooja and then come out of the Kshetra. If you are going there for the first time. More than this at the initial stages, well, if you have already, if there is some specific idea you have, if somebody is there to guide you and already told you that these pujas specifically you have to do, that is a different matter, all right. But if you are going there for the first time without any specific agenda in mind, then this is the best you can do. This is how you should approach the Kshetra. Go there, spend time, do sadhana. It is important to spend few hours in sadhana in that place. Don't go into very complicated areas in the hill. Go into places where there are people, which is maybe in the main temple only. If you are not aware of anything, just in the main temple. Sit down somewhere and start doing parayana, part, stotra, japa, etc. for few hours. And if you can't do that, then keep doing pradakshina of the main yoni mandala. And pradakshina means not just once, twice or thrice. Try and aim to do at least say 36 times or 54 times or even 108 times. If not in one day, then 1-2 days. Okay. This is how you should initially do sadhana of Ma Kamakhya. This is the best way to start. I mean, eventually if somebody is very good, then there are innumerable things you can do, and we'll not go there at this moment, but this is how you can start doing. And if you carry this on for some time, you will and along with that, if there is in specific prayers in your mind, something that is bothering you, so after you do the sadhana, then quietly tell whatever things you have in your mind to the devata, to Ma Kamakhya. If she feels that you deserve it, you will get a response from her. This is, in my opinion, the safest and the best way and the best thing to do if you're coming to Kamakhya for the first time. Instead of trying to aimlessly, do this, that, or a lot of people I know who will go there but don't know what they're doing actually, because they're just randomly visiting all the temples, which is wonderful. You visit the 10 Mahavidyas, no problem with that. But if there is a specific thing in your mind why you have approached, and you think that you are expecting a miracle on day one, no, you make yourself eligible for the miracle. And to make yourself eligible for the miracle, this is the way to go about it. You have to do sadhana. You have to spend sufficient time doing sadhana there. And does not mean that you have to do very complicated sadhana. Choose those things which you can do without initiation. So always start with those stotra part, or 108 names, things I've mentioned innumerable times in past videos. Those things you start off. Spend some time doing that. Put in that effort towards the sadhana. Do it for a few days and then see what results come. If at all some indications may come, there could be some positive benefits you may come. So go with an open mind and do not try to be over smart. It's best to keep oneself limited to what is possible, what is known. Okay. So this is how you should approach the Kshetra of Kamakhya. And as I mentioned, do not be critical of anything. Do not bother what others are doing. There are all kinds of people who will come there. Some, and you do not know by looking at somebody's face what is his or her actual true level of spiritual capacity. You do not know how much Shakti he has or she has, etc. So don't bother about others. You focus on what you have to do. That is all. And if at all you, and as I mentioned, if at all there is a specific puja you want to do and you don't know anything what should be done or should not be done, then the best thing to do is get a Kumari Pooja done. And any of the priests or the pandas, if you ask them, they'll tell you, or they can arrange it for you. It's very simple. For those who have, this is for people who have absolutely no idea, they're just visiting for the first time, then this is how you do it. And if you already have some idea, or there is somebody who has recommended a specific puja, then it's different matter. Then you follow whatever the instruction has been given to you. Okay, because all kinds of pujas happen in Kamakhya. Every kind of more or less all the 10 Mahavidya pujas happen in Kamakhya, and it is not just randomly. It's not that it is not done. It's done at a very vigorous, very strong manner. Lots of people across India get pujas done, people of all stations, for various problems, whether it is graha or this or that, etc. So those are kamya prayogs, desire fulfillment pujas. So those pujas, you will need guidance of somebody first to tell you what puja has to be done, how long time it takes, what is the cost involved, etc., etc. And I'm sure you can do that. But what I am telling is for somebody who is going there for the first time without anything specific in the mind, but more or less to connect to the Devata, to develop a connection with the Devata. Then in that case, this is how you do it. You have darshan, you do some sadhana, you do pradakshina if possible, and you, if possible, do a Kumari Puja and then come down from the Kshetra. This is the way to go about if you are going to Kamakhya for the first time. Apart from this, I will be making some more videos in coming times with respect to my perception of Ma Kamakhya and why she is extremely potent. I might even mention a few experiences, but that depends. I'll have to think if all things can be mentioned or not. Otherwise, I hope that this is helpful, specifically for those who are going there for the, initially for the first time. So spend time doing sadhana, that is important. Not complicated sadhana. Do not think that right on day one you have to do the most complex thing. No. Important factor is to do something, spend sufficient time in it, and time means duration of the sadhana plus consistency of the sadhana. It should go on for sufficient number of days. So those who actually have the ability to go to Kamakhya and stay for some days, or at least visit regularly, they are at a better position to actually benefit from regularly or daily, if not daily, at least once a week or whatever the convenience is, to go there and do some practices. So that's all for now. I hope this is helpful. Jai Ma Kamakhya.